My fault. It's an away game, man. What can I do? It's an away game. I think you want to put your phone on mute, sir.
Yes, sir.
My bad. On mute. Let's get the show started. You already know what it is. True North Views Podcast, Toronto's official, unofficial podcast discussing hip hop, R&B, and the culture. Interviews being a big part of this.
What'd you say?
True North InterViews. True North InterViews.
Now, of course, new setting, same us. Let's let people know who we are. I go by the name of Harris. Hold on, I gotta play this.
All right, this is Dill Dot, aka the podcast K Dot, aka Caramel Poppy, aka the Caramel God, pulling up from the logo, 3-pointers only, bang.
Bang, 4-3, puts it in.
Y'all know me, Skirt Master here, Mr. Triple Double himself, 0 assists. Stealing 70 mil from the TTC on my way to that NBA championship. Because we don't do true championships in this place. You can call me just Shola. Am I doing the end as usual? I wasn't sure.
Yeah, no, let's do it, man. Let's do it.
And as usual,
we're giving you our perspective.
We're giving you our perspective from the perspective of a few first-generation Canadians.
That's all I know. And today...
Had to feel familiar, right?
It has to. It's almost like a home game. It's like the Raptors playing in Tampa.
It's not home.
It's a home game, but it's not really home.
Not until the record is better.
You know what I'm saying? But today we got a special guest with us. I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
So what's up, guys? My name is Prez, but full name is Prezent. You guys can always call me Prez all the time. Just don't call me Prezent. You guys might say it wrong. But yeah, I come from Brampton, 905, 410. That's where I'm from.
Okay.
Other than that, man, I'm just here, just living it up, guys.
Welcome.
Well, we're happy to have you. This is True North Interviews, Volume 5. First one in the stew.
In the studio.
Feel special right now,
You're
so,
breaking it in.
Got the light shining on you.
But how you feeling, man? How you feeling?
Honestly, I feel good. I feel comfortable. I feel relaxed. I feel like I'm in a good space, even though we're in the little pandemic right now. Can't complain.
The pandemic.
You know what I'm saying? Other than that, just been focused on music, working on it. Doing a 1-2. Have a lot of music in the vault, just waiting to release and stuff like that.
You hear that?
Gotcha. Before we start any interview questions, are you a New Year's resolution guy?
Kinda.
So coming into 2021, now that we're settled in to some degree,
almost a month in.
How do you feel? What was your resolution and/or intention, and do you feel like you're acting on it?
My intention for 2021 was being more relentless. I felt like I was kind of like holding back more in like 2020 or years before. So like I feel more determined now than I was before. So yeah, I said I'm on that path to be more determined.
Got you.
I'm feeling that.
Yeah, I think yeah.
I got distracted. People I tell people I'm doing shit and they still call me like, yo, I'm kind of busy right now, like give me like a minute. But let's talk about let's go back into time for a bit. Let's go into 2020. Back into time. feels like so long ago.
I know. March was like 2 years, bro.
Rewind.
Back in 2020.
So I want to talk about. So let's talk about your latest release.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like bring us through like your thought process, a little bit of the concept of that, and what the last track was for the world out there.
It's kind of tricky. Chain Gang basically was a short form of Triple Chain Gang, which was the label that I used to rep. I don't really rep it anymore. So that was like basically a part of the ending of like that saga of what I'm doing, whatever. So I'm kind of like changing the name.
Okay.
So it's kind of like the focus of what I'm doing. So that was kind of like I give back to the fans or whoever was listening to whoever's giving me streams or whatever. So I kind of gave a giveaway during that time period as well. So it's kind of around Christmas and all that stuff.
So is that part of because I noticed that in 2020 there was I think it was 5 singles if I'm not mistaken. There was like a 3-pack on top of that.
Yeah.
I noticed the artwork of each single was kind of fitting some sort of story. So you mentioned a saga. That was intentional?
Yeah, it was intentional. So basically, it was kind of like the beginning was the reason I call it the intro was because it was like the introduction to who I am. It was kind of like my first song as the name Prezent.
And fam, that shit was crazy. Like it felt like it was like a Meek Mill kind of like intro. Is that where you're trying to go for? Like,
honestly, I'm a big fan of Meek Mill.
Yeah,
like, he's like my favorite artist.
Hey, he's good.
Like one of my favorite artists.
See the vision.
At the time.
Yeah.
So I'm heavily inspired by Meek Mill. Like attitude-wise and all that stuff. Like, so, like outside of this box.
Got you.
You know? But other than that, that's what I was going for, and then to show you what else I'm gonna come with. So like you're not really gonna expect, because on that song I had different flows on there.
Yeah.
So you're not really gonna expect what's gonna come next, and then the next song came with Hit a Lick.
Hit a Lick,
So then, Hit a Lick was more of like a progression.
Yeah.
Like a progression thing of me, of the way I felt through my life basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
And showing like I'm on my own. So like now I leveled up, I'm on my own, I'm doing my thing now. Everything's going good, blah blah blah. And then now I'm gonna kind of show you how I got there.
Now, was there intention from a sound perspective? I noticed that record was a little bit more, for lack of a better word, melodic.
Yeah.
More of a vocal performance. Was that intentional?
Yeah, that was intentional because I slightly showed it in intro. So it was kind of like a sneak peek to what the next song was.
Yeah, because like you started out with like was like a rap, like a traditional rapping kind of flow, and then as like the beat kind of progressed, like you started to change and started to morph your flow.
Yeah.
And then it became into like this whole like if that flow was throughout the whole entire track, like that's crazy. But that kind of just shows you like the kind of like artist that
variety.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he has like this, like I don't just do this. I can rap. I can show you I can do this.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Let me show you I can do this too. Don't sleep. Let me show you I can do this too. But I fuck with it. But I wanted to ask you though. So you dropped all these things. So they all have some sort of like concept to them.
Yeah.
Why not make that a project? Because you did have the intro, you had the tracks, and then you dropped the 3-pack as well.
Yeah,
so
the 3-pack was from the SoundCloud. And
Yeah.
I just said, you know what, since a lot of people are asking me to put it on Spotify and put it on like iTunes, it was just supposed to be exclusively for SoundCloud. Because I didn't want it to be mainstream or like anyone to really like look at it. So since everyone like DM me, like I don't have it on the air, it's like here, boom, because that's like a whole different other side of me.
Got you.
Right?
Got you.
Compared to what I'm really putting out there.
So even though they had a concept, you didn't feel like it was like cohesive enough to make it an actual project. Like you didn't feel like they went together, kind of thing.
The 3-pack did not go with the songs that I had laying out as a single. That's why I said it as a 3-pack.
Got you.
So now the singles that I'm putting out, I thought it would have made sense of me dropping a project. This is due to the fact of me listening to Russ, because Russ had a very people may not like.
No, listen. We nod our head. We're
fuck with Russ.
I've been a Russ fan. I was hating. I'm like, yo, you guys are hating on this man. He's actually
with Russ.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So what I did was I actually did it as a test. So freaking the 3-pack I did as a test to see what the reaction would be and how my streams would be.
Yeah.
So he said, yo, when you drop a project, the first song is usually going to get the most streams or the song with the featured artist.
Yep.
And that's exactly what happened.
Always happens.
And then he's like, so what he did was he dropped song for song, consistently.
Yep.
But
Right.
I'm not necessarily going to drop a song every week like that because,
Right.
I got to pursue the time. I don't have a free
Yeah.
You gotta eat.
I gotta eat. I gotta be outside, but at the end of the day, it's just like, okay, so I seen more of an impact when I drop singles. Because now I realize so much things are going on the internet, people's attention span is just like that.
Exactly.
And I agree with that, especially like for an artist that's starting to build the reputation.
Yeah.
Like, I don't expect. I wouldn't suggest for them to drop a project right away.
Yeah.
Drop the singles. Keep dropping the singles. Build the momentum. And then once that anticipation for a project, that's why I asked you for the project.
Yeah.
Once the anticipation comes for the project, you drop the project on
Yeah.
there.
No, that's right.
You can't just drop a project and expect people to stream it.
start
Yeah,
streaming.
exactly.
It's not gonna happen.
I'm like, because I look at it, because I put the 3-pack on Spotify, and then when I'm looking at my singles and I'm looking at 3-pack, I'm just like, okay, the equivalence of the 3-pack is not equivalent to
To the singles.
To the singles. Like now when I understand like when they say units sold in albums and all that stuff. It's not necessarily every song is doing that great.
Nah.
Right.
It's maybe a few
It's
songs.
a cohesive unit of the songs. That's whatever.
And that's why they throw singles in there.
That's why they throw singles all the time to boost the sales up.
Exactly.
And we talk about how first week sales is not necessarily
that great because sometimes it could be like the hit song that they had from like
2
years ago.
French
That's
Montana
up to the numbers.
Unforgettable.
Oh shit! It's a freaking million thing now.
French Montana is known for that. A single from 2
years
years ago, you throwing an album.
Yeah.
500 first week, like how?
And it's like, why not?
But it's 3 singles
Why
from
not?
2 years ago that were on
Let
number
me
ones.
Let me sell 750,000 first week.
Why you can say, yo, it was a process to the album. It wasn't done yet.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I just gave you guys a teaser.
There's no way, there's no like straight line in which you have to run your business. I
That's
think.
true,
Like,
that's
hey,
true, that's true.
do what works for you and make your money how you do it. If they
Big
make
facts.
rules, work around it.
And like I think I'm so happy that you said that because like me, I'm really big on giving artists and not even just artists but like everybody free game. Doesn't matter if it's on music or whatever, but especially because my passion is in music, I'm giving free game on music,
game, yeah.
and people like Russ are giving free game on music.
Every day.
So it's up to you. Like your success is up to you at the end of the
At
day.
the end of the day, that's true.
And speaking of Russ, when I was listening to your music, my second track, I was like, this guy reminds me a lot of Russ. I was like, School of Russ. That was the first thing I was like. I was gonna ask him like, can we do School of Russ? Is it too late? Is it too early?
It's interesting that you mentioned.
And then when you mentioned it, I was just like, wow. I was like, because we looked at each other too, like, you see that note that was there, School of Russ?
Check the video. Check the video. Rewind back to when he says School of Russ. We looked at each other. But talk about that. Just like Russ's influence in general.
Where did your music influence come from?
Honestly, Russ was brought to me by some white kid that I knew about the area.
shout out to that white kid.
His name was Lucas.
Shout out to Lucas.
Shout out to Lucas. He liked J. Cole. I wasn't really a big fan of J. Cole. No disrespect. But,
So that's okay.
He takes it personally.
I don't.
No,
You know the fan club. That's like, all right, we're done here.
He's a
Going
goat.
home.
Like, no, he's a goat.
He's a
No
goat.
disrespect,
Absolute
he's a goat.
goat.
Like he's a goat in his own way. Like it's just like.
Hold on, before you get into that, let me ask you a question.
I know where this is going.
I need your opinion. Do you listen to Joey Badass?
Nah.
All right, never mind then.
Just miss me with that one.
All right, never mind then.
I like J. Cole.
See
Over
what I mean?
I'll pick J. Cole over Joey Badass.
Jeez.
I know more J. Cole
I
songs
think that
than
answered
Joey
your.
Badass.
All right, it does.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
And like I don't really want to like say too much about artists that like already made it. You know, 'cause I'm not really, like,
Yeah.
you know. But I prefer ASAP Rocky over Joey Badass.
Huh, interesting.
I can
Because
see that.
the images are very similar, right?
They
But you also got to know about quality of music. The reason why, like, preference is a very big thing.
For sure.
It's definitely.
But content is a different thing too, and then the quality has to mix with it as well.
Exactly.
So like, you know.
I feel that.
I like that.
So just going back to influences, not necessarily to expand on any one artist or not,
Yeah.
but you know,
Oh,
you
Russ,
mentioned Meek.
yeah.
Well, we don't need to elaborate. You mentioned Meek. You mentioned Russ. That alone kind of gives me a feel for
It gives
who you are in some ways.
Yeah.
But if you can just maybe speak to some other names, whether it's musically or whether it's just
Lifestyle.
Or even just
Going
shit, like
through the
shit that
game,
you listen to. Like if
right?
you're not listening to, because I know a lot of artists listen to themselves. Like,
Yeah,
a lot for the most part. Like what do you listen to like on a regular day? What's in your headphones?
On a regular day right now,
Yeah, other than yourself.
other than myself, like right now, personally is gonna be Future. Future, I've been listening to Future from when he dropped Dirty Sprite 1. And, when a lot of people didn't even know what Watch This was, so remember I said that, Watch This. A lot of people don't know that song. So I knew when he wrote Racks on Racks for YC way back, so I was listening to Future from way back. I've been a fan. I listen to Drake sometimes. Sometimes, like here and there, like just to honestly get inspiration. Because Drake's pen game or whatever he does on the music, like he's pretty good with it.
He is.
Definitely.
I mean, I
gotta
think
give him his credit.
I think he's kind of good.
He's
He's kind of good at what he does.
You gotta give him what he does. You know, you gotta give him his credit.
you gotta give the boy his credit.
You gotta give the boy
There
his
you go.
credit.
You
So, and that also Meek Mill, obviously. I listen to Fabi Foreign right now.
Fabi.
I listen to lots of Fabi. I listen to a lot of Pop Smoke. So basically, my basis of listening is New York rap right now.
Got you.
I like that.
Freaking Chef G, Sleepy Hollow. I listen to a little bit of Toronto music. Just a little
We'll get into that. We'll get into that.
sometimes. But yeah, other than that, my major influence is probably those guys.
Right.
Got you.
Right. So what you listen to, is that kind of whatever musical world that you're creating in determines who you listen to, or
No.
you just whatever I feel like listening to?
That's usually just whatever I feel like listening to.
Yeah.
That's just like what I feel like I go to day to day. Like I'm gonna go do something. I'm just like
Run some
I'm
errands.
Or the weather, you know, if it's cold outside, hot outside.
Exactly.
Rick Ross's fall weather, yeah.
I listen to music for different purposes. So like if I want to learn like a melody, I'll listen to dancehall, right? Or I listen to like R&B.
Okay.
For my R&B choice, I'll start at first.
R. Kelly. I'm joking.
I had to say Trey Songz.
Whoa, hold on. Before,
I made a joke.
That's Shola.
That didn't happen, and that was Shola.
So, you guys are always scared to make jokes.
Hey, man.
Crack a joke on 1-2. Crack a 1-2 joke.
R&B influences.
So my number one R&B influence, I'd have to say, is Trey Songz. Just because he's like really soul and has like hits it.
He has a voice.
He has a
He can
voice,
hit some notes and all that.
Next, I'd probably say Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez is there for me.
I like his versatility, Tory Lanez.
Who else? Yeah, that's kind of weird.
How about when you listen to dancehall? Who do you listen to?
Hold on, the last one. This is real.
Okay.
Rihanna.
We love
Bad
Rihanna.
girl,
We love Rihanna. Nothing Rihanna could do is bad in our eyes.
Nah, she's hard though.
Rihanna could walk down and be like, oh
Can't
shit, you
believe
see that
they,
thing Rihanna did?
I can't believe in 2020 when they gave us new Riri by repackaging 2016.
That's crazy.
Hey, we're still bumping it like it was.
The track's fire though.
That was super viral. I was like,
We've been waiting for that dancehall,
you guys are real facey. You guys that facey. Okay.
Yo, side note. When I was living in Sudbury, I was living in Sudbury for
3
a year.
side notes over there.
And North Bay, North Bay is like it's like 30, 45 minutes northeast.
Northeast,
Yeah, northeast of Sudbury.
I think it's North Bay.
So I was there for a road trip one time. You know, went out to have some drinks and stuff like that. It's a place called Fanny's.
Yeah.
In Sudbury?
No, North Bay.
In North Bay. I feel like
It's
I
a gentleman's club.
Oh, okay. I was
Gentlemen's
there.
club. And there's a girl, she looked like Riri, like the only black girl at the club. I'm like, yo, fam, that's bad girl Riri.
You sure it wasn't the alcohol?
Yeah, like,
You know what I'm saying? I seen her, I'm like, yo, she's
remember that
bad.
Ludacris song with T-Pain? With that
If I had one more drink.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's probably exactly.
Fam, I saved her number in my phone as bad girl Riri.
She probably doesn't look anything like Rihanna. She
She
a white
probably
girl.
doesn't. She had like, you know, remember when she was black, my God.
Thank you. Yes, she's singing.
All right, moving on. Moving on.
Speaking of the opposite of Sudbury, let's bring it back to Prezent's music for a little bit. So, again, just speaking to your music, you obviously mentioned that it was intentional to drop.
Yeah.
I think it was a 3-pack as three, the intro, Hit a Lick, and then Metro Housen.
Yeah.
Right. So opposite of Sudbury. I want to talk about Metro. I want to talk about Metro Housen a little bit because here on the True North Views podcast, we often talk about rappers who are able to kind of paint a visionary picture, right? The Rick Rosses of the world, the Lil Babies of the world, the Meek Mills of the world.
J. Cole to an extent.
J. Cole in a lot of ways.
Joy Badass.
King Von.
Somewhat. King Von in a lot of ways as well. So just that visionary rap and then seeing you as somebody who has done that. When I heard this record, I was like, oh shit, like I feel like I'm there. You know what I'm saying? You know, time for school. I'm late for the announcements. How many times do you remember walking in school? You know you're late. You know you're late.
Yeah.
But you know your mom is telling you run and
Coming
leave
in,
that.
Canada's already on there.
You walk to the entrance and
Stand at the door. As soon as the door start running to your class.
I gotta stop. And
Come in, take off your
Take
hat.
off your hat.
Oh,
I remember the first time we had the door. Take off your hat.
Oh, shit.
Yo, I didn't cut my hair.
oh
though.
Mr.
man.
Edwards had a hack collection.
Damn, I had
Shit.
another side note.
So when I was in British Columbia,
I had a dream about Mr. Edwards. I had a dream I went back to ND.
You dream about the next one?
Gotta hit a pause for that. Got a pause for that? Alright, so I had a dream. I went back to ND. And then I was walking into the school and Mr. Edwards was chasing me, bro. He was like, yo, take off your hat. I'm like, bro, I got PTSD from this nigga, bro.
he took off his hat in his dream.
Yo.
Took off his hat in his dream. He was sweating, wearing a hat.
Sweat, I'm running down the fucking hallway and man's chasing me down the hallway.
Oh, man. So you have that line on there, time for school, I was late for the announcements. You have another line on there, she didn't even know that I came from the futon sleeping, from my late night creeping. Again, that's so visionary in that way. And again, I don't even necessarily have to ask, you know, is visionary rap a part of what you do? Because I kind of get that vibe from you already. But I guess what I will ask is, for this record or for records that you make in general, do you kind of say to yourself, okay, this is the one that's gonna paint a picture more than other records, or did it just happen this way? You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes
like how do you create different types of records because you have so many influences, you have so many styles and versatilities.
I want to add on to that. Like, what's your when you go into the studio? Like, what's your
creation process?
Process. Like, how do you go through? Like, is it the beat? That you know what I mean? Like, what's your process on that?
So let me tell you something. I don't go to the studio to write music or freestyle. That song was a freestyle though.
Oh shit!
So I was like in the zone kind of. So
well, those are always the best.
But usually my writing process is I'm at home and I'm in my car. I'm just chilling and like I be thinking a lot and whatever happens, like I can't just like write music like freaking if nothing's happening, like nothing's going on or whatever. So sometimes I'll be going through shit or whatever and then I'll just spit how I feel or spit what's going on or like if certain things like reoccur to me that something happened before and it just kind of like hits me again. I'm like, all right, yo, let me just like get it out there. Blah, 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 like that. But yeah, other than that, it's just like it's a lot of experiences that also happened to me that led to certain musics to come out, obviously. And, I usually write music when I'm angry, to be honest.
I mean,
all the time.
It's an emotion, right? Yeah, so emotion invokes thought, and thought goes to pen.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
you know, you feel better after.
Yeah, I do. But that song particularly, Metro Housing. It's kind of it was the intention was like, I was upset like at life at that current moment. But I was kind of happy at the fact that like where I came from and where I am at the moment, like you know the things that I have obtained compared to what I didn't have.
Right.
And so it's like some people like around me don't appreciate what I came from. So it's kind of like it was kind of like a ventilation onto the song or whatever. Cause like I wear like designer jeans now, I can wear designer jeans and stuff. Like the reason why I put it in the song, like I used to wear clothes from Zellers and freaking what was this? Honest Eds. A lot of people don't know what Honest Eds is.
A lot of people know more.
Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
you know
what I'm trying to say?
That thing kills me every time.
You feel me? So, like, yeah, it's just like, I'm just really appreciative for what I have. So, it's just like, kind of like, letting people know, like, I understand
the struggle.
Like, I didn't have it all the time. People look at me like, oh, yeah, I'm probably gifted because I'm from Brampton and I already have it. I didn't live in Brampton my whole life, so it's just like, you know.
Yeah, that the Toronto perception's interesting. I think we should kind of break into some Toronto discussion at this point.
Before we get there, I want to just talk about like because you said you're from Brampton, so like what. Like how was it growing up in Brampton? Like tell us about some experiences. If you want, it's totally up to you. Because I know, like the thing is, like people don't know this, but a lot of talent comes from Brampton. Yep. So I want to figure out like what the fuck is happening in Brampton where it's creating these talents. Like we got a lot of artists that are coming out of Brampton these days. From my perspective, I'm not gonna speak on anybody else. Yeah, it's fine.
But a lot of people from Toronto vacated to Brampton. Right, and I would say my family is probably one of the families that vacated from the hoods of Toronto that vacated to Brampton. And carried out the same mentality, so it's not changing, right? Not necessarily saying that we had money or like we were rich to live in Brampton or anything. You still gotta get what you gotta live. It doesn't mean that like your whole process of living is changing. It's just you just vacated to a different area.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and like just to give a little backstory, like back in those days, like Brampton was affordable to live in. Like that's why a lot of people from Toronto, because the prices were going up in Toronto, starting to go up in Toronto, and then Brampton was slowly developing. So it was easier. It was easier for those. Like my family did the same thing too.
A lot of families.
Like we bought our house in Brampton for like two something. And then we ended up selling it for like 7 something eventually. So like look at the profit difference on that. So that's just a little backstory like how Brampton is. Because I'm from Brampton too. Shout out to Brampton. But yeah, continue.
Yeah, but that's a different process of moving to Brampton. Everybody had that process.
I'm just saying.
Like, you know, I had times where I had to move back to Toronto and then come back to Brampton and move into a basement because, like, you know, I no longer have a stepfather in my mom's life, you know. So now it's just a single mom and whatever.
Yeah.
But before like when I did have like my dad was deported when I was like 6, so I kind of was living at my grandma's in Mississauga for a period of time. My grandma was a pastor, like archbishop.
Your grandma?
Yeah, my grandma.
Oh wow.
So
Shout out to grandma.
She
real.
she didn't really uphold with the lifestyle that everyone else.
Yep, say less.
So, other than that, like that's basically like the upbringing, and then going to Brampton, vacating up to Brampton. My brothers are obviously, doing their thing, having their fun, living their lives at the time.
Yep. If you know,
obviously influence.
If you know,
Exactly.
Influenced me.
Yeah.
At a time, growing up. So Brampton's not really like this, like, oh yeah, it's quiet. Well, at the time, in the early 2000s,
Yeah.
it was pretty.
It was still up and coming. It was up and
It
coming.
was still developing.
It was very
yes.
high.
Property tax.
It was very high in poverty in the early 2000s with I would say colored people.
Yeah.
So the antics with the colored people were like very
up there.
and they kind of calmed down as we got older a little bit.
Yeah.
And then, but it seems like it's starting to spark back up.
Yeah.
Because it's like a recycle of the expenses are going back up again, and families can't really like
afford the shit.
You know what I'm saying? So all the kids can't ask for the new Jordans and all that stuff. So what are they gonna go do, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly. Find a way to get it.
Yeah, that's basically it.
And you can see it in the music. It's like you need, like, I'm not saying you need this. I'm like, correct me if I'm wrong, but like you're using it as like as you said before, like as a venting purpose,
because
like to get it out of there. Like just like can't keep it all inside. You just need to get it out.
Because over time you can't really trust everybody you talk to, right? 'Cause
yeah.
Sometimes when you have too much conversation with someone, they'll take you lightly, and then they'll use that information as leverage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, because they know that now. So like, I can kind of talk to you a certain way.
For sure.
So
for sure.
The best way for you to like get it out to is how you speak to God, or you just speak to your music.
So let's talk about some Toronto music scene. What are your thoughts basically on the scene right now, and where do you see yourself within the scene?
Toronto rap scene, I find it interesting. Okay. It's pretty entertaining. That's about it.
Well, okay. So I mean, obviously, we're not, trying to get any names out of this or anything specifically.
Yeah.
But more so just the Toronto music scene as a whole. Like, do you feel maybe something's missing from the industry?
Ooh,
that's a good one.
That is a good one. I think it's just probably thought process.
Okay.
I just think everyone should be focused on like getting their music out there, like that's just
rather than the beefs in the streets.
That's what you said, right?
Yeah, that's what I said. I said that.
That was
Shola. Yeah, everyone's so scared to talk, right? Man can say there's beef in the streets.
That's that guy right there.
Everyone has Twitter. Everyone has the internet. You can see what goes on. You see academics on streams.
Hey man,
yeah,
I'm just saying there's beef in the streets. That's all I'm saying. I'm not naming dropping.
It's not even about that. It's not even about that. It's not even about sometimes other artists that are beef in the streets. It's just like other people listen too.
Yeah.
Right? You can't really.
What I do want to ask or talk about, you come up from Brampton area, even in the East End and Scarborough, there's a lot of talent.
Yeah, there is.
There's a lot of talent that goes very unseen.
There is.
You know what I'm saying? So just navigating in the music industry for as long as you have. First of all, when did you start rapping?
Yeah, that's a good question.
That's a good question. Really and truly, my person who made me start rapping, really, you know who he is. His name is Scooby Blacks, right? He used to bum Gucci Man like every day. He used to bum Gucci Man like every day. His name is Scooby Blacks, right? He used to bum Gucci Man like every day. He was like, he taught me how to play ball. He's the first one to tell me how to play ball, all that.
Oh, shit.
So, he's the one that's actually, like, brought me onto music a long time ago. But me actually, like, taking music serious was probably, like, actually, like, just me, like, me alone.
Yeah.
Probably 4 years ago.
4 years.
But initially, I started rapping probably in I think it was 2011. in 2012. So I just started learning how to rap and
Yeah.
going in and out.
So coming on a decade, taking it seriously, for lack of a better word, for the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, I respect
you.
that. So yeah, I mean, as I was mentioning, just in your time navigating the music industry, just let's kind of paint a picture for our listeners.
Yeah.
You know, just talk about some of the talent that you've encountered and people you've worked with, or it can be from the music side, it can be from production side, engineering side. Just in your eyes, as an artist at the ground level, what type of talent exists in the Toronto area?
In the Toronto area, like I feel like there is actually a lot of talent in Toronto that I've seen, but it's really just the focus on exposure. The focus on exposure is elsewhere. It's not. It's just more like there's a lot of people in Scarborough that are talented. There's a lot of people in North York that are talented. There's a lot of people in Brampton and Mississauga and even Kitchener. But like, I would have to say the blogs are kind of like. I don't want to blame the blogs in a sense, but they kind of have a strong role in the hip hop scene now because it's no longer on television.
Yeah.
It's no longer up to Much Music or MTV or whatever like that.
The blog is the television in a lot of ways.
Facts.
You want your stuff to look at, you go to the blog sites, right? Yeah. So like, I'm not gonna name any blogs.
Of course.
Yeah, just saying in general.
But,
Blog sites.
I think right now, especially because I think you're right. Like in terms of like the blogs, they kind of. I'm not saying that they have like 100% like ownership or gatekeepership, if that's a word, of the industry, but they do dictate a lot of what people hear.
Yeah, because they give a narrative.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and a lot of people look at them as like
gospel TV,
the gossip,
gospel.
TV, like e-talk. Like this is like the nowadays e-talk. So like even if it's like Houston or LA, everyone has their own blog sites, and that's what creates the whole situation.
Exactly.
Anyone that doesn't know just goes to that blog site and they say rapper X or singer X does this. They're like, oh, well, I guess
those
this
are
person
things
does
that
that.
influencing everyone else because that's what you're seeing every day. So like they post more than the average person.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to post content to always keep themselves relevant.
Exactly.
So,
No matter what, they'll stretch the truth.
or whatever it is, or they'll repost the same thing
Yep.
2 weeks later and like, oh yeah, I forgot to post this when they just posted it not too long.
And they need the views. And the thing is like they kind of perpetuate the kind of things that are happening within the city because they use that for the views. And we talked about this on the podcast before. And I see that as it's not a problem now. What is a problem right now, but it could be a bigger problem for the scene in the future. Because we're already losing a lot of artists that we should not have lost. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna speak on that anymore, but like go into more detail on that because like polys and whatever the fuck. But I think that's one thing that needs to be changed in the scene for sure.
Definitely.
But as for
I just think blogs should just push artists instead of like creating an opinion.
And then another layer
gotcha.
that I would add to that is, I think us as listeners, as content consumers, there is some responsibility on us, I will say, to help promote the blogs that do that.
Yeah.
Right? Because there are blogs that exist that do that, but they don't get that kind of shine that they should. You know, for putting an artist on the spotlight and really, you know, trying to introduce their respective platform to that artist.
Because the headlines are captured.
That's what I'm saying.
Quote unquote headlines.
People,
it's not their fault.
People love to see a car accident. Like you know when you're driving on the 401, the whole 401 slows down because everybody's watching
on
the
the
car
other
accident.
side.
Like fam, fucking drive your car. Like so they're taking advantage of that. So people want to see the bullshit. People want to see the bullshit.
What I was really getting at is like what I was really getting at was that the point of like let's just say like they're saying they're introducing an artist, right?
Right.
They'll already have their opinionated caption in the picture.
Yeah.
And then the caption now is like, do you like it or not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's gonna like.
So you're leading them on. And
yeah,
then
to something,
asking,
and then asking them like, do you like it or not?
Yeah.
Like, how is that fair to the artist?
Because you already led them.
You and the artist had no relationship,
Mm-hmm.
none at all. The artist probably doesn't even know really who the hell you are.
Yeah.
He could have seen you 5 times down the street, and you'd be laughing at him, knowing that I'm really roasting you on it.
Yeah. Facts.
It's true.
Facts.
That's so true.
It's crazy.
So it's like, yeah, that's just my opinion. I just think that they just shouldn't be creating negative opinions on artists. Not every artist is the same.
Yeah.
As you may see, like
Yep.
some artists, I'm not saying like hood artists or anything. I'm saying like even like pop artists or all these like next artists that committed suicide or things like that. That's also could be because of the narrative that the blogs carry.
Definitely, yeah.
That's a good point.
Influences fans.
Right.
It
Yeah.
influences fans to deal with the artist a certain way or deal with them a certain way, and then now like the repercussions of it is now like the person's dead or the person's like
Yeah.
you know what I'm
Facts.
saying?
Yeah, I mean, the influence is there, right? And I think that goes without question. And obviously, we're not here to try to say what they need to do. You know, we don't, you know what I mean?
Everyone has their own
But at
opinion.
the same time, you know, to your point, we feel there are things that can be done that could, you know, help the city ascend.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Right.
And you can even see it when we start talking, Joe, when we talk about Toronto music, or when we talk about music now, we never talk about negative about any artist.
Nah.
Even if they've done stuff, we never talk about that.
I'd just rather
We
not
talk about the music.
Yeah.
Yo, this
Yeah.
song is good, we like this, we didn't like this. And I always end it with, listen to it and make your own opinion, because what I may get from music may not be what like, he thinks Joey Badass is better than J. Cole.
Yeah,
No, I didn't say that.
Harris thinks it's blasphemous.
I didn't say that. I said All American
throw some
Badass
down.
is better than any album J. Cole.
Now, like going on that one, there's the Joey Badass thing. Which artist do you also compare him to?
Who?
Like, would he be in the Kendricks? In
Well, the
top
thing
five?
is, like, on the podcast, you said that he's sort of like, I'm not comparing him as an artist.
So
He's not-
content-wise.
Content-wise, no, because content-wise, he's talking about what's happening in the world, like real
So
shit.
what's Kendrick?
Kendrick is the same.
shit.
Kendrick is the same.
Well, you just said no. I just
He just asked.
I just
He just
asked
asked,
you.
would you
Oh.
compare Joey to Kendrick?
Kendrick,
You're
but I
like,
wouldn't. I wouldn't compare him to Kendrick. But in content-wise, yes.
Content-wise.
That's what I said.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
content-wise, yeah.
Now, content-wise.
I like how he breaks down the question. Let's hear it.
It's like Harris.
You gotta interview the interviewer.
Is J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar the same content?
No.
So how are you gonna compare J. Cole to Joey Badass anyway?
Talk about it.
That's a good point, sir.
I didn't.
That's a
Off
good
the
point.
pod.
But all I
Join.
that's fair. That's a fair statement. That's a fair statement.
Building.
I got nothing to say.
You still like Joey Badass.
That's a fair statement. But I'm just saying that I liked. Okay, in my opinion, this and I said on the
You are allowed
podcast
to.
too.
Of course.
In my opinion, I liked All American Badass more than anything J. Cole's ever.
And you're fair. You are allowed your own opinion.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because you prefer his content.
Because you reach
Not
a
even,
certain
not even
way.
content, but the way that he puts his content out in the musical form is better than J. Cole.
And all of this,
His
just
album-
all this I'm trying to say is
as a
just to
whole-
say.
as a whole album, like a top to bottom album.
Like Crooked Smile and all that stuff.
You know what I'm saying?
Like
Like,
I'm saying Crooked Smile and all that.
yeah, it's better. Joey Badass has better songs than Crooked Smile. And I'm not saying that Crooked Smile is a bad song. I'm just saying that Joey Badass has shit that's better than that.
And all of this was just to say that music's opinionated and
It's
don't
subjective.
focus on the person.
It's subjective.
Focus on
Okay.
the music
is
as a whole.
subjectively
Okay,
objective.
hold on.
Exactly, there
I'm
we
not.
go.
I'm not necessarily like. Hold on. Let me just get this shit. just Joey Badass like paint pictures.
Oh, hell yeah.
No, like a vivid picture more than J. Cole.
J. Cole's one of the best storytellers I've ever heard in a while.
You know what?
I give J. Cole
I
the
listen.
storytelling.
I re-listened to every single album recently. I listened to it with fresh
Yo, we
ears.
need to have a mini
Yo,
pod
bro,
on just J. Cole.
You should have seen how hot this guy was, bro.
He's getting hot right now.
He's getting heated.
The reason why I'm saying it, I'm not a big J. Cole fan.
Yeah.
I respect
Me
artists
neither.
for what they are.
A million
I respect
percent.
music.
I love J. Cole.
Listen to me. I don't listen to J. Cole every day. Okay.
Mhm.
So now, what I'm trying to say is like when you come to painting a picture, okay, you're really gonna say Joey Badass paints a bigger picture.
But I'm saying, do I enjoy that track more
It's not
than?
about enjoying.
No, it
That's
is.
that.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. But that's how I'm trying to compare the albums. Like my personal.
You see what you're doing now?
What?
Is not using facts. You're
How?
using-
There's no facts in
You're
music.
being biased because you like
How?
an artist.
No, I don't know Joey Badass. I don't know J. Cole. I'm
That's
just
how
saying-
this conversation started. All I was going to say that people are going to be biased
I
to
don't
people
know.
they
I don't
like
know these
more.
guys.
That's all I wanted from the whole
I
conversation
love it.
was just
I
to say
can't be
I love
biased.
it.
he likes this and he likes that better, but they're
I
both
can't-
right.
I can't be biased.
It's a good artist though.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Joey Badass is a good artist.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm
I
personally.
prefer Kendrick, but he's a good artist.
Me too. But personally, I thought J.
But
Cole's
wait,
best album.
wait, hold on. What?
I'm loving this, man.
You can't do that.
All right, I can't.
You can't do that. You can't say Badass is better than J. Cole.
No, I'm saying his
Nah,
his
the
album.
one album.
His album. Joey Badass's best album
The
for
three
me
goats of
personally.
our
and then-
the three goats of our generation when it comes to like the not like you know
The goats of our
hardcore rap is Drake,
Mhm.
J. Cole, and Kendrick.
Right.
You cannot do that.
I'm just saying, as an
I just
album,
said you could not.
am I often saying this? Like, his album, to me, that album that he made, his best album versus his best album, to me personally, Joey Badass's album was better than his best album.
If you say so.
I'm gonna let you have that.
If you say
You know
so.
what I'm
If you say so.
You know what I'm saying?
That is.
I know what
Dylan.
you're saying. That is Dylan.
That is Dylan. I want to talk about 2021 for Prez. That combo is not happening.
No,
right?
we'll be here for 7 hours. Right?
I think we've had this talk like 3 weeks in a row. And
Fam, it's an
not gonna
ongoing
end.
talk because man just thought like the conversation's still going. My boy just called me that day. He's like, "Yo, fam,
Yeah, I got
you
you.
really said that, fam?
Yo,
You really said
we
that?
might
fam?
need to do a mini pod on that
Low key.
one
You got
day.
it. You got it. Bro.
But
You low
So-
key, we got to.
let's go.
2021 for Prez. Before we move into what's happening for 2021, what I do want to ask again, you know, we've gone through your record. We talked about the 3-pack that you released as well, and you said it's a different side of you in some way.
Yeah, it's a different side of me in some way. It's more of like I'll say emotional.
Okay.
Emotional side.
Okay.
Like a softer side.
Right. Okay. So again, showing the versatility.
Yeah.
Ultimately, right. So again, before we go into 2021, what I wanted to ask about 2020. In the 3-pack being another side, in the singles kind of Russ style, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
Did 2020 set that to be the plan? Did it change the plan going like?
No,
Was the blueprint throughout?
Like it was the blueprint from ahead of time, but I went through some trials and tribulations prior to it.
Yes.
So I ended up me being on my own at a time, which was the middle of 2020.
Okay.
I just said, you know what, I'm not gonna really hold on to anything. I'm just gonna just kick the start and go. Right. So that I just kept stick to the plan that I already had in mind, and then it's just like it's working out for me.
Okay,
So,
I love it. And then 2020 was a good year for you. I saw the Spotify numbers.
Yeah.
35 countries.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Hold on. That's a big look, man. 35 countries.
Yeah, and my first like actual like year of going straight. So I'm proud of myself. Give myself
Definitely.
a pat on
You
my
should
back,
be.
You know, pop champagne.
Of course.
I popped Bel Air.
Jeez.
It didn't really end well for me.
Man said it didn't end well for
But yeah, it was good though. But yeah, I was happy for it, you know. And I'm just
Yeah.
trying to do better for this year. Like,
For
sure. Do better, get more. And it's
Level
still going. I'm still getting played over different areas and stuff like that. My favorite place is Saudi Arabia.
Really?
Jeez.
You know, so
They're playing you on that Fight Island.
Yo,
That's
fam,
why.
they love hip hop over there. Like they'll fly artists out. Like they fly like 50 Cent, for example. Like they'll fly him out, do like the fucking Sheik's birthday
Yeah,
party.
private shows with like
Take 2
200
M's.
rich ass people.
Take 2
I
M's.
wouldn't mind going over there for that.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
Yo, facts.
but what I wanted to ask is like, so 2021, we're here now. What's the goal? Like, are we still gonna be dropping singles? Like, when's the next single coming out? What's the plan for like the next like couple months or so?
So like for the next couple, I'm going to studio right after. But
Working.
That's what I'm saying.
because I'm doing a transfer from this Chang Gang to like this whole whole me, I have a song called like It's called kind of saying big dog coming off the leash. So it's kind of being like more like me, no more reserve. Kind of like,
I like that. I like
so
that.
I'm being
Going back to the intention for 2021.
So like be more raw.
Yeah.
I guess, because that's what I really am.
Yeah.
Right. I've been kind of like censoring my music in a sense before. So but yeah, it's just I'm just on go right now. Like everything's just on go for 2021. I'm gonna shoot a couple videos coming through. I might shoot a video for the last portion of songs for Chang Gang that I have.
Got you.
And because those last few songs are more like, how do I say, more like metro housing, but more deeper.
Right.
The beat's more emotional.
Yeah.
Right. So it'll kind of give you. I'm not gonna say like rod wave exactly, but like deep like a rod wave.
Yeah. It's the feeling.
It's the feeling.
You know,
right.
So yeah, like that, like Lil Durk rod wave, like deep, like that. So melodic. It's melodic.
Crap.
It's gonna be melodic, but with a bit of rap, with a bit of hard rap in it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, other than that, that's what's up. Like
It's a big year coming.
Okay, and maybe you don't have to, reveal all the cards necessarily for 2021, but can you tell us Anything date-wise, you know, is there any dates coming up? New video on this day, new song on this day. Again, don't gotta reveal the cards.
You could just say later in the year.
You can follow him on IG.
Honestly, you can follow me on Instagram.
You should.
_ real present.
Say that again.
_ real present. You know, PREZENT.
Yes, sir.
Heard that.
But music coming soon. Like I said in my giveaway thing, you know, got music coming soon.
Check his IG for that giveaway.
Check my IG.
That IG.
I actually came through. I literally drove all the way to Montreal because the winners were in Montreal.
Wow. Oh, shit.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. When I did the giveaway, I didn't expect the people that won to be all the way in Montreal.
Yeah.
I was going to be in the vicinity.
Yeah.
Jackson, North York, Scarborough, and Marco.
Let's put some context behind that. So this was for your latest single at the time in 2020. You did a giveaway, some AirPods.
Yeah, some AirPods. Yeah.
Some Bel Air Rosé.
Yeah,
a $50 gift card.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And a vest.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
Yeah.
I was looking like shit.
I was like, yo, where was I? I was cheese. I was like, yo, why not enter this?
I looked at this. Yeah, it's like, oh man, I'm not even gonna say the date, but I'm looking at it. I'm like, yeah, this is far from the expiry date. I would have loved a vest or something.
That's why. Like,
it was kind of crazy because when I actually put the vest, people actually wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
I wanted the vest out of everything.
I'm like, hold on, this is third prize? How do I get third?
I was like, oh, that's crazy. I was like, okay, so one of my boys won it, which was surprising because I was like, I didn't want my boys to win it.
Yeah.
Because then it made it seem like
you didn't. You just.
But the fucked up thing is, I haven't seen him in like 3-4 years, right?
Oh, yeah.
So when I went to go see him, it was like in bumfuck Idaho. Like it was way out. It was basically like 3 hours or 2 hours away from where I am. So I'm like, oh my god, I've been driving for 16 hours this whole fucking weekend.
Holy.
So I went to Montreal, gave the winner the headphones. He was like some foreign guy. It was a cool dude though.
Yeah.
Larry. Good
Shout out to Larry.
Shout out to Larry, man like Larry.
You know what I'm saying? Big man like Larry, you know what I'm saying? And then the winner was he's an artist. He's came my homie over the internet. Hardcore in Canada. You know, you guys can call him Breed. Call him Breed. Breed the Don.
Okay, I think I've seen it. Might have been on your page, but I definitely seen that name around.
Yeah, he just dropped a tape. He just dropped 6 cents.
Yeah.
6 cents. All right.
Listen to that.
So,
maybe that's the next interview.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The winner over there, you know, got the champagne. He's doing good, you know. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Showed love. Now I hand out the vest and all of that. And yeah, man, it was fun doing it though, because, you know, I want people to see, like, I actually
interact with your fans.
I actually care about you guys. Like,
show love.
You guys actually inspire me to keep going.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So.
That's
and
fire.
You delivering that yourself. That image is
stuck
in their head.
Like, yo, I'll never forget. Like, this guy is like, this guy actually came through.
This guy really pulled
came
up.
through. He's
serious.
serious.
He's serious. Like, yo, ship it. I'm like, nah, bro. I'm gonna spend way more money shipping it, to be honest with you.
And to drive.
I don't have no license for no liquor, so listen. I'm
not trying to sell liquor through the mail.
I'm gonna have to drive.
Yeah,
like,
I'll pull up on you.
You're not that far. If you're like British Columbia, I have to take the flight and then buy the liquor at duty free, because like.
That just shows commitment, though. That shows commitment. Like, if you can go through that step for a free giveaway, what would you do for your music? That's how I'm seeing it.
Did you document it? Like, did you document like the drive out there and stuff like that? Like, yo,
honestly, I didn't really document it because I didn't really want to like people to see like
sensationalize it.
It wasn't. It wasn't for the.
It wasn't really.
It wasn't for the look. It wasn't for like.
It wasn't for that.
Yeah, I got you.
And plus, I went with my shorty, so like it wasn't really.
It was more like it was a couple strings.
It was really like, you know what I'm saying. So
I feel you.
So but it was fun though. I make sure I took pictures so I remembered that like I did it.
Yeah,
for sure.
You know? It was more so for me and the fan or the person that did it.
That's dope. That's dope, man.
That's dope.
That more intimate feeling. I don't really do it for everyone to be like, oh my god, yo, Prez actually went out there. And I saw you didn't see me post it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't post it. I went out there.
I seen you pull the winners, but I didn't see that you actually went out there and dropped it off.
When they got it, I just reposted it on my story.
Yeah.
So like, if you seen it, you seen it. If you didn't, you didn't. I just know that. Me personally, I
you
give
it to that personal satisfaction. That's dope.
That's about it.
Cool. And in terms, so you got the singles. You're working on the singles.
We're gonna have to pause that and
Yeah. Edit,
like everything.
edit.
You just started on where and you got the singles and then it was
Yeah.
perfect timing for that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that back up. Or just gonna leave it down for the rest of the.
Hold on.
That's funny, yo.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
No one even touched it too. It's just on its own. You guys aren't even
I
close
think
to it.
the thing is close to 30 minutes as well.
Yeah. So
Well,
we're
and-
almost done. So you got the singles. You're working on the singles right now. Is there any plans for a full project for this year, for 2021?
Like low key, I always get that question.
It's an artist question.
I always get that question, and no, I'm not dropping a tape for now because I don't think it makes sense.
Got you.
Fair enough.
Kudos to all the people who drop tapes right now.
Yeah.
Kudos to all the artists building up their repertoire, you know, and throwing it all at once. But I feel like Russ said, I feel like I can get more people to listen to my music by dropping it one at a time.
Okay.
I have more of a catalog.
So what becomes your trigger point where you say, you know what, a project makes more sense?
When I know that like it's I would have to say when I'm consistent enough with the music and also the feedback of my fans. Like, you know,
Got you.
Fans is very important.
It is.
Right. So when I get the feedback from the fans, I'm like, yo, okay, like numerous people, like hundreds of people are now telling me, like, yo, okay, yeah,
It's just
time
fire.
for a fucking buddy.
It's go time. I think it's a feeling. You know when it's
It's a
time.
feeling.
You'll know exactly.
you know.
You'll know.
It's like I think Bob said something similar. Like it's a feeling you can't really explain, but the artist knows.
I believe
So,
that.
like, I can't really quote exactly what he
Yeah,
says, but it's just a
paraphrasing.
feeling. It's just a feeling that
You'll
you
know
have.
based
you
off
know,
the energy that's going around.
Energy. It's just like making music. It's just like you'll know when you're giving it your all. Like,
Yeah.
You know when you're just like, okay, yeah, fuck out of here. I didn't really do that good on that one. So yeah, when it comes to dropping the tape, I'm just gonna go not with the flow, but like I'm gonna go with my gut.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with my gut. Like, yeah, it's time.
Trust your gut.
Yeah.
Trust
I don't want
the
to
universe.
waste so much effort and time into a project that's not gonna.
Definitely.
You put
It's
some
not
good
gonna
songs
hit.
in there, and then the
It's
songs
gonna
don't.
hit.
hit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you can't release those songs again because you already put them on the tape.
And I think
Yeah,
what you're currently doing, it has this real impactful effect on the IG. Because I'm going through the IG and I'm like, coming soon, dropped up, just came out, coming soon, behind the scenes, and I'm like,
a lot.
his whole feed is like anticipation, like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
It
So
is.
it's keeping me in, it's
Yeah,
drawing me
yeah,
in.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it's working towards the intention that it seems that you're setting for it to be.
You know, it's crazy that you say that because like a lot of people won't admit that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people keep that. That's the thing about Toronto. They'll watch you and they'll pay attention, but they won't say anything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So like I did a test, for instance. My girl has a business, right? So I ended up promoting it. So then people that follow me and are following her and I'm going to her business and they're like, how'd you find out? I was like, oh yeah, I was watching your man's story and I'm
So
like,
you know who's watching.
know who's
I'm
watching.
like, okay. I'm like, all right, cool. I got
Yeah.
you. I
I
see.
feel that.
So yeah, it's just over time. I think the audience is just waiting for me to be more consistent.
Yeah.
More than anything, and maybe I need to drop another video or something to like give them a wow or something. I'm not really sure because it's working though. Whatever it is working.
Mm-hmm.
But I just need to build up more to get more engagement with my fans to let them know that I'm not that much of like a scary guy. I'm not that intimidating. Like, you know, a lot of people, I don't know, are afraid to talk to me sometimes, but I'm not that intimidating. Like, I could say hi, I could talk to you guys, you know.
You're a nice guy. He's
Yeah.
a nice guy.
Yeah.
Fun guy.
Yeah.
He's a fun guy.
Yeah, you know. Well, yeah, other than that, 2021, it seems like it's gonna be a good year.
I feel that.
I feel it.
I'm proud of Toronto right now. They're really getting a lot of exposure. Shout out to the blogs that are helping the artists that are elevating and making moves and
100%.
you know what I'm saying.
Yep.
Salute to all the artists that are making moves in Toronto. You know, I gotta get it to you guys.
That's a fact.
Sure. Appreciate that. I'm good. We can do the outro.
Yeah.
We'll start with
Do you have
outro.
any final questions, comments, concerns?
I have nothing. I just want him to plug himself.
I'm
before
good.
we get out of here.
I just want to say appreciate you for coming out, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
thanks, man. Thanks for having me, yo.
the goal for me, and I'm sure these guys, I'm not gonna speak for you guys, but I'm sure we're on the same page, is just having artists, Toronto or not, give them the platform to showcase who they are.
And not just artists too, any creatives.
Like I'm for the creatives, I'm for the artists, and that's why we're here, giving you giving you guys the platforms to speak and sell yourselves.
Yeah. Just another thing. I think just like with me as an artist though, I think I'm very different than a lot of Toronto artists that are here, because like a lot of feedback I get, like you can't pinpoint where I'm from, right? With I guess my delivery of music that I have. So yeah, I'll just give myself a pat on the back on that one. You know what I'm saying?
Big up yourself.
Big up myself, you feel me? So yeah, that's about it. So I wouldn't say like I would just in my own lane. I'm not trying to get into
nothing.
Nobody else's lane. I'm doing my thing. You feel me? So,
Facts.
yeah, that's about it.
Facts.
Yeah. Other than that, like I think I'm just stay in my lane and just do my thing, and I think everything will be okay for me.
It will be
in the long end.
For sure. I feel like if you continue doing the things that you're doing in terms of like dropping the singles, letting them build, letting them bubble, because that's a key formula. Like Russ has been saying this, and it's worked for him. And I've seen it work for a couple artists that are kind of following his trend. Yeah. And it's what needs to happen in this new streaming era.
Especially if you're being independent, right?
1,000%. I agree.
And if you're looking to go get a label, go ahead. You can do the most what you can on the internet. Do you need to do to get their attention, whatever. But if you're trying to build something that's like just you and it's 100, like you don't need to do all those antics and all that stuff. Like just keep it a buck, and like who likes you will be you. Like who tune into you will tune into you. You don't need to worry about any audience that's not tuning into you. In due time, they'll tune into you when you get there. You just gotta keep going.
Facts. Listen, man, this has been a dope conversation. Amazing. Again, let people know where they can find you one more time. You
can find me on Instagram at _RealPrezent, PREZENT.
Twitter's website, anything like that?
I don't do no Twitter and on Facebook. No
there you go. That's important. That's important.
People will look for you on Twitter.
If there's any fake accounts, it's not
fake
you.
Prezent on Twitter. Don't follow the fake Prezent on Twitter.
Let me go delete that account quick.
Instagram only. Again, man, this has been a super dope conversation.
For sure.
I'm like, should we do our typical outro?
The outro music?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
What I will say is this. Again, like I said, man, True North Interviews Volume 5. We got Prezent building. This has been a special one. Again, first interview in the stew.
More to come.
Dill for getting that set up. And this has just been a genuine conversation. You know what I'm saying?
This was great stuff. Actually, this was nice.
Yeah.
This was neat.
We appreciate that, man. No, we definitely appreciate that. That being said, I'm going to do it anyway. Please cue that music. That will take us to the end, the unfortunate end of another episode of the True North Views podcast, True North Interviews. Jeez. You know the vibes. Please, we just ask one favor if you guys continue that conversation.
Wait, hold up. Did you say you were going to cut this part out, or was it just last week you were saying you're not doing this?
No more telling a friend?
You say you're just going to tell them
just to follow, right?
Yeah, just to follow, rate, review.
Subscribe. Listen, man.
I know it's force of habit, that's why.
Freestyle it.
Okay, it is what it is.
Continue that conversation by telling a friend to tell 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 a friend. Please
spread the word.
That was the part we were considering editing out, because what we were gonna say was just subscribe to our shit.
Rate, comment,
subscribe, like, rate, comments, do all that stuff, do all those things to get those algorithms up for all of us. You know, let's go 10 times your numbers for this year.
Exactly. That's a goal right there.
That's it. You know, Spotify numbers. I want to see end of 2021. Prez's Spotify numbers are 10 times more than what they were in 2020. Check out his IG to see what they were in 2020. You know what I'm saying? You know the vibes. Now, again, as usual, I go by the name of Harris.
Are you gonna? Oh shit! You know what it is? It's Dill aka the podcast K aka Caramel Poppy, aka Caramel God, pulling up from the logo. 3-pointers only.
Cheese. Y'all know me, Skirt Master himself, Mr. Triple Double, no assist. No passing the ball to this guy. Stealing 70 mil from the TTC. NBA champion. You can call me just Shola.
Our ball team is cold. Like I'm pulling up the logo.
Pull up our logo.
No assist.
Triple double, no assist.
3-pointers only.
No scoring
man.
points, getting rebounds.
Running the numbers up. Bang, bang.
Bear defense.
You don't have to do all of that.
Right on top of it is Prez.
In the building, man. Just tell them that number one rule before we sign off.
Watch out for the wastemans, y'all.
Watch out for the
Watch out,
motherfucking
watch out.
wastemans. You already know what it is. You know the vibes. True North Views podcast. True North Interviews. Volume 5.
We out. That's it. Oh, that was beautiful.
That was blessed.
It was great.